Well, it must be so upsetting to know how weak and helpless they think you are.
Not at all. I am weak and helpless, and I appreciate their understanding. Fluttershy?
Fluttershy, like all the main six from MLP, is a very loved character, yet many in the community seem perplexed as to what makes her exactly so popular. In fact, the second most popular character in the series. How can a scared cat pegasi be so near the top of the list compared to her friends that are more reliable, comedic, or cool? Well, the answer is in what her character brings to the narrative structure of Friendship is Magic. But first, let's go into the specifics of how the main six stack up in popularity.
Let's not?
While there is no definitive anything in the Brony fandom, there are noticeable trends that can be observed. From multiple polls and surveys, we can conclude the general popularity of the main six, from most to least, goes Twilight Sparkle, Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie, Rarity, and Applejack. Outside of polls, it's also worth mentioning when We Love Fine conducted a popularity contest for exclusive lines, the three ponies chosen by popular demand were Twilight, Fluttershy, and Rainbow Dash. This seems to correlate pretty well with the pattern I noted. At this point, many of you are asking, wait, if Twilight is number one, why are you not discussing her? Well, there ain't really too much to discuss, because it's easy to understand why Twilight is the most popular. Starting with who voices her, Tara Strong, affectionately known as the Queen of the Bronies. While it's true that many of the show's staff, from voice actors, writers, animators, musical composers, and so on, interact with the fandom pretty well, it's worth noting Tara was one of the first to do so and continued to be one of the most active, not to mention her back catalog of idolized performances, including Raven.
Azarath Medrion
On top of this, Tara plays Twilight as a very nerdy character. Why is that important? Look in a mirror. The odds are you'll see a nerd and or geek or dork in reflection. And no, this is not a complaint or insult. The fact is, most of the Brony fandom is able to relate to Twilight's geeky nature. However, the biggest reason why Twilight is the most popular is because she is the protagonist of the series. What that means is the series revolves around Twilight's development, allowing her character to be the most fleshed out and influential to the narrative. To put this in perspective, all four of the double episodes centered on Twilight Sparkle, and so did the movie. Not a single of the rest of the main six has got a double episode yet, so it's easy to see why Twilight is the most popular. But why is Fluttershy the second most popular character? Well, that is the million-bit question a lot of the community seems to be struggling to answer.
The hardest time either trying to relate to her or trying to find any aspiring traits that would actually make me like her as much as, say, one of my top three favorite ponies.
Oh, of course I do. Do you all think I'm a silly, gullible fool?
One reason identified by pretty much everyone why Fluttershy is so popular is, pause for dramatic effect, Fluttershy is cute. To be specific, Fluttershy's gentle, timid, and shy nature makes her the most adorable of the main six. Yes, adorableness, like beauty, is subjective, but come on, tell me with a straight face that Fluttershy is not adorable. Or to put all this in anime terms, Fluttershy is moe and moe is popular.
Oh, yes! Even Herr Schnees is graceful!
The biggest contributor to this is her shy, timid nature, as I already mentioned. This gives her a sort of innocent demeanor that sort of makes the audience want to sort of protect her, for a better word. Her introverted composure also helps her with relatability, in the same way that Twilight's geeky and dorky personality helped her.
All the other fools used to tease me. A lot! Fluttershy, Fluttershy, Fluttershy can hardly fly, Fluttershy!
However, Fluttershy's moe is not the sole contributor to her popularity. After all, this is My Little Pony. All of the characters are adorable in some degree, and that has not helped others so well. For instance, look at Applejack's Moe outburst.
I didn't learn anything. I was right all along. How come y'all aren't doing any gardening? This is a garden party, isn't it?
And who are you, little one?
I'm Applejack. Small apple fritter.
Applejack can be heart-achingly adorable, but that has not helped her or saved her from being the least popular of the main six. And really the reason behind this is how differently Fluttershy and Applejack are characterized over the 3 seasons and movie.
Halt! Who goes there?
No one. Never mind. I'll go home.
Character writing 101 involves developing a well-rounded character that have strengths that make them admirable and also significant to the story, weaknesses that make them relatable and build suspense during the story, and quirks that make them unique and defines their actions in the story. Fluttershy has a good mix of all of these. Her weaknesses being her obvious introverted nature and fear of almost everything, including her own shadow in the beginning of the series. This leads to Fluttershy often being ignored or made into a doormat that bottles up her emotions that are released in bursts of rage. However, Fluttershy's weaknesses have a unique relationship to her strengths compared to the rest of her main 6, in that these weaknesses create her strengths. Her tormented past causes her to look past others' faults and to show them the kindness she was denied as a filly, even the spirit of chaos. As Fluttershy says or sings,
Yes, I love everything.
and that love gives birth to strong feelings to protect them. Fluttershy, though terrified of dragons, will stand up to an enraged one when her friends are in danger. She is a kind of character to put the interests of others above her own.
Or banish you and then throw you in a dungeon in the place that she banishes you to. You really think the princess would do that? Okay, granted that probably won't happen, but do you want to take any chances? All that really matters to me is that poor little Philomena here gets well. That's very noble of you.
This is why Fluttershy is the most courageous of the main 6. Courage is not born from a lack of fears, but a willingness to face them. One interesting strength is her ability to manipulate, that even surpasses Discord's. But isn't manipulation bad? A weakness? Not exactly. After all, authors manipulate the feelings of their readers. Professors can manipulate students for them to secretly learn a lesson, and therapists manipulate their patients to come to a conclusion on their own accord. Fluttershy's inability to directly assert her opinions is likely the source of her manipulative nature. Manipulation in the end is only bad when it is used to hurt others for your benefits. And while Fluttershy has used it for her own benefit before, she has also used her manipulative skills to help others. From getting Rainbow Dash to give Tank a chance, to getting Discord to realize that friendship is magic. She was able to turn a defensive trait into a strength. After all, Fluttershy is more well aware of her weaknesses than any other.
Not at all. I am weak and helpless, and I appreciate their understanding.
But has learned to embrace them and use them to her and others' benefits. Oh, and quirks? She is a surplus of quirks, which include but are not limited to her ability to harmonize with nature, freakish knowledge of sewing and knitting going by the comics, and an odd desire to be a treat. Put all this together and what do we have? A shy, timid pony with a sad past and anger management issues that is still able to represent the element of kindness and also courage. It has a chess master-like manipulative mind. Oh, and she loves knitting. Extreme knitting. This is the kind of deep multi-tiered characterization that helps invest fans into MLP. But some might say she keeps forgetting her lessons and repeating them. No, she does not. Let's break down this argument by recapping every Fluttershy episode, lesson, and also the noticed character growth. Dragon-sized lesson: friendship can help you overcome your fears. More specifically, Fluttershy's courage is born from the urge to protect others. Stairmaster: official lesson: don't bite off more than you can chew. Here we can also see Fluttershy growing into taking a more leading and commanding role.
Behind me, now! Just who do you think you are going around turning others into stone?
How is this growth? Look back at Winter Wrap-Up and its teams. Fluttershy, though the most skilled in all of Equestria with animal care, is not the leader of the team in charge of waking up all the animals. However, in Stairmaster, she's willing to take an authoritative role to help the CMC when they are in threat. Green is not your color's lesson. You should never be afraid to share your feelings with your friends. Also, this episode establishes that Fluttershy hates attention and popularity, a bird in your hooves. Ask before you take matters into your own hooves. Also establishes Fluttershy's willingness to steal from an immortal princess to help an animal, putting your hoof down. Setting up for yourself is not the same as changing who you are. Specifically, Fluttershy learned when not to back down while not being a jerk. Hurricane Fluttershy.
Dear Princess Celestia, sometimes you can feel like what you have to offer is too little to make a difference. But today, I learned that every pony's contribution is important, no matter how small. If you just keep your head high, do your best, and believe in yourself, anything can happen.
And finally, keep calm, flutter on. Friendship is magic and everyone deserves kindness. Here, Fluttershy applied most of her previous lessons to stand strong in her moral beliefs even when her friends did not believe in or trust in her. Are those lessons the same? Really? So no, Fluttershy is not relearning the same lesson again and again. For goodness sake, she's gone from hiding from her own shadow in the beginning of the series to manipulating the spirit of chaos itself. I have one more reason why Fluttershy is so popular, and it deals with one of the most overlooked yet structurally important elements of story: narrative tension. What is narrative tension? Besides the catchphrase of almost every modern book on creative writing, it is what keeps the reader reading because they're wondering what exactly is going to happen next. Fluttershy, being both a pony afraid of almost everything by the series beginning and also a socially awkward pony, means Fluttershy is almost always in a state of emotional vulnerability, or to put it bluntly, a tension machine. It's Fluttershy versus the world in essence, and the audience loves that. Even the mere act of going to a local shopping market can be a struggle for Fluttershy at times. Now, put that pony into situations where she faces beings of darkness alongside her friends, and the suspense bleeds from the screen. To give a comparative example, this is exactly why Batman is more popular than Superman in the Justice League. While fighting, any stray bullet can kill Batman, making every single fight a struggle for survival. Superman, he doesn't even consider a point-blank thermonuclear explosion a flesh wound, unless it's laced with kryptonite, and then it just singes a little. Who is more interesting to watch? Who creates more suspense when confronting a godlike tyrant of evil? Hint, he's got pointy ears.
You dare? You dare? I could destroy you with a single blast of my Omega beams.
You could, but that wouldn't stop the Hellspores, would it?
You will disarm them.
Here's the deal. Release the girl, and give your word you'll leave her alone. Forswear, Kara Zor-El. Say it.
Well played. Had the Kryptonian or the Amazon taken that gamble, they would have lost.
To bring this back to MLP, Fluttershy represents Batman's vulnerability, while Applejack represents Superman's stability. The audience is always left wondering how Fluttershy will handle a stressful situation. Will she crack under the pressure? Will she run away? Will she show an act of kindness that thaws a frozen heart? Will she have a rage outburst from all the frustration that's built up? Or will she manipulate and outplay her antagonist? All of these are viable outcomes with Fluttershy.
Well played, Fluttershy. Well played.
In contrast, dependable Applejack has always got your back and will just take on the obstacle head on. Which of these two creates more tension? Which of these two will get the most cheers when they triumph over their challenge? Hint, she's got a pink mane.
Let's hear it for Fluttershy! 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 Fluttershy can really fly!
In the end, there is no real one reason why Fluttershy is so popular, but a combination. Her adorable and kind nature is what draws the audience in. Her complex and at times explosive personality gets them invested in her character development, and her constant state of uncertainty keeps the audience in a state of suspense even through repeated viewings. I honestly can't tell if Faust intended for Fluttershy to add this much complexity to Friendship is Magic. In the same way, I'm unsure she knew exactly how much Friendship is Magic would get a cult-like following. But through 3 seasons of development and a movie spin-off, she has grown into a wonderful character, loved by millions of all ages and across the globe. You rock, Flutters. Woohoo. P.S. Equestria Girls, yes, it was indeed awesome. Called it.